I grew up on Cantonese food, the kind that's all about balance and finesse. It's not flashy. It doesn't rely on heavy spices or bold sauces. Instead, it's about letting the natural flavor shine. Whether it's the sweetness of the fresh seafood, the tenderness of the double boiled soups, or the crispy skin on a perfectly roasted duck. But here in Seattle, it's rare to find Cantonese cooking done at this level, where every dish is treated with care and nothing is over-sauced or overcooked. Until now. Right in the heart of International District on 8th Avenue South, Diamond Bay quietly opened its doors. And after 2 full dinner visits, plus a separate try of their barbecue and lunch spot next door, I can honestly say Diamond Bay brings the true taste of Cantonese tradition to Seattle. From wok-seared beef to herbal soups, clay pot eel to sweet and sour fish. This is refined, soulful cooking that reminds me of dinners back in Hong Kong or Richmond, BC. Here's everything we ordered and why this might just be Seattle's most authentic Cantonese restaurant. We started our meal with something traditional, something nostalgic, a dish that's often overlooked, but speaks volumes about a kitchen skill. This isn't your average roast duck. Pipa duck or Pipa is butterflied and flattened to resemble the shape of a Chinese instrument, allowing the skin to roast evenly into a crispy, paper-thin shell. Diamond Bay's version hits all the right notes: 5-spice marinade, a glossy lacquer, and tender, juicy meat, with just enough fat to keep things rich but not greasy. You'll taste the care from the first bite. To balance the richness of the duck, we moved on to something clean and vibrant. A classic vegetable dish elevated by the broth it swims in. Delicate pea shoots lightly wilted in a golden superior broth. It's light, it's sweet and layered, with hints of dried shiitake, carrot, and richness that lingers without ever feeling oily. The pea shoots absorb the broth like a sponge, giving every bite a subtle, complex flavor. This is the kind of Cantonese vegetable dish that resets your palate and refreshes the table. After something soft and herbal, we crave that smoky wok-fried punch, and the next dish delivered exactly that. One of the standouts of the night. The beef is tender, it's velveted filet mignon, seared hot with garlic, black bean, and a dry-style black pepper sauce that clings to every bite. It's bold but not salty. It's beefy yet refined. The mushrooms soak up the sauce and add earthiness. This one surprised us in the best way. To go with the beef, we needed something hearty but clean, and fried rice was the natural next step. This dish is all about subtle luxury. The dried scallops bring umami depth, while the egg whites add fluff and body. It's dry in texture, no greasy puddles though, and perfectly balanced against the richness of the beef and the duck. A great companion dish that doesn't fight for attention. Now, no Cantonese dinner is complete without something slow cooked and soulful. And for that, we turn to one of my mom's personal favorites. This is a rare find, live white eel, fatty and tender, and cooked down in a lemongrass scented clay pot. The aroma hits you first, citrusy, herbal, and deeply savory. It's not muddy or frozen aftertaste. This is fresh eel, cooked just until it melts on the tongue. Garlic, black bean, and lemongrass balance the richness with sharp, fragrant notes. Pricey, yes, but for fans of traditional clay pot cooking, it's worth every bite. On our second visit, we wanted to see how Diamond Bay handled a broader range of Cantonese comfort dishes, from wok-fried staples to deep-fried showstoppers. We started with a dish that's true litmus test of any Cantonese kitchen. This dish is deceptively simple but technically demanding, and Diamond Bay nails it. The noodles are thick and slightly plump, likely made locally rather than imported from Canada, but still carry that essential wok-hei. The beef is tender, the soy sauce seasoning just right, and the oil level beautifully restrained. A solid execution of a Cantonese classic. It's smoky, chewy, and satisfying. Next, we moved into something a little punchier, a dish that adds a subtle numbing kick and a deep savory crunch. These spare ribs are crispy on the outside with a thin, well-fried batter that doesn't overpower the meat. A light dusting of Sichuan pepper adds just a hint of that tongue-tingling, numbing spice. Not overpowering, but enough to elevate the dish. The meat is juicy, the flavor is layered, and the whole plate vanishes faster than expected. But if we're talking about things that vanish instantly, this next one was the table's unanimous favorite. Wow, the batter is ultra light, like tempura, but even crispier. Inside, the oysters are barely cooked, plump, briny, and bursting with juice. You get this incredible contrast, crackling crunch followed by an explosion of oyster sweetness. Minimal seasoning means the seafood speaks for itself. Honestly, one of the best fried oyster dishes we've had in Seattle. To shift gears, we added a duel from the barbecue station, always a staple when judging a Cantonese restaurant. Their roast duck siu ngap continues to impress. Same crispy skin, juicy meat, and deep 5-spice marinade as our first visit. The char siu we got leaned on the leaner side, still tender and flavorful, but next time we'll definitely request a fattier cut. Even so, the marinade had depth, sweetness, and telltale caramelization you want from a good char siu. From there, we went into a more medicinal homestyle direction, something you find in a Cantonese grandmother's kitchen. This is comfort food in soup form. The salted pork bones, hamzhiguat, infuse the broth with the savory depth that softens the natural bitterness of the mustard greens, gai choy. According to Chinese medicine, this combination is good for detox and balance, but more importantly, it's delicious. The greens soak up that flavor and the broth is soothing, soulful, and nourishing. We ended the meal on a bright and familiar note, something I always order to gauge a restaurant's sweet and sour game. This dish is all about contrast: crispy exterior, tender, flaky fish, and that vibrant, sweet and sour glaze. The sauce itself is balanced, acidic, tangy, and just the right amount of sweetness. Though the canned pineapple could be improved for a fresher finish. Still, the fried work is excellent. Not greasy, not soggy, just clean, hot, and flavorful. Every dish during our second visit reinforced the same feeling. Diamond Bay isn't cutting corners. Whether it's a humble spare rib or a banquet-style oyster plate, the quality is there. The cooking is thoughtful, and more than anything, it tastes like home. Diamond Bay is not your cheap eat spot. These dishes are priced like what you expect at a banquet in Richmond or even Hong Kong. But that's because the execution is there. From the fry work to the broth-based vegetables to the wok technique on the beef. This is the real thing. Cantonese food that honors the tradition without cutting corners. Nothing over-salted, no shortcuts. You can tell every dish has thought and care. Whether you're looking to relive the flavors of home, impress your parents, or simply experience elevated Cantonese cuisine in Seattle, Diamond Bay delivers. If you made it this far, you're probably as much of a Cantonese food nerd as I am. So hit that like button, drop your favorite comfort dish in the comments, and subscribe for more food adventures across Seattle, Richmond, and beyond.